Hey everybody, welcome back to the Mill Run in Western Maryland and what I hope to be a successful series. Today we're starting What's on the Workbench. And to answer the question, we've got an 040 Mantua switcher. Now any of you who know my channel or have watched my videos, you know that it's pretty common to see an old switcher on my layout. I like these little things. I picked this one up at a tent sale for probably about $5. And it didn't run well, but it ran pretty good. So far I've taken it apart, as you can see. I've got just the chassis here, the boiler, motor's out, and you're also going to see a little blue thing here. And any of you who know DCC, you know that's a decoder. And that's my goal with this engine, is to actually convert it to DCC. Now, what started as taking the motor out, getting it lubed up, and get it running a little better, turned into, hey, let me try to plug this DCC decoder into it and see if it'll work. Well, I started with this Digitrax DH121 and the motor would come on. But then the moment I took power away to change directions, it wouldn't come back on. And I had to fiddle around and eventually it would come back on again. But then it would only run one way and only wide open. And no matter how I tried to program it, I kept losing power. In the end, I determined that this decoder, which came out of another locomotive that I purchased at a train show that more or less fell apart, wasn't any good. I had another one. This is a Digitrax as well. It is a DH142. Now, I hooked this one up, was able to program it, was able to get it successfully run and run at some slower speeds. So it was working pretty good, so I've determined that this decoder is good. And again, this one is used as well. Now, some of you who know a lot more about DCC than I do, which wouldn't take much, could tell me that maybe it's a difference in the decoder models. I will say that I tried to put this DH121 in a F7 unit, which is much newer, much lighter, and it wouldn't work in it either. So, pretty sure I got a bad decoder there, but this one is working. Now this octopus of wires is set up because I was testing it outside of the locomotive, and actually what I used was this Tidytrax wheel cleaner, because you can lay this on the track, get power from the underneath, and use these handy alligator clips, hook it into the DCC decoder, and run it that way. Kind of unorthodox, but it works. So anyway, on this series, what I'm going to be doing, starting out, is going through this process of wiring this thing up for DCC. Now this is the original motor to this locomotive. This is the old two-pole style motor. You will find these in almost all the old vintage Mantuas and a lot of other manufacturers as well. It's not a bad locomotive. They will get some end-play wear, and you might notice some performance in one direction or the other that isn't as good. For instance, when most of these old things start showing some wear, the forward direction is wore, and they'll run like a scalded dog in reverse, but forward is a drag. There's not so much of that with this motor. Thankfully, this thing's pretty tight. But anyway, this motor was originally designed to pick up power two ways. Number one, through the chassis. So one side of the drive wheels is picking up power and sending it through the chassis, through the bottom of the motor. Then the other side outside is picked up by one side of the tender through this wire to the motor. Now any of you who know DCC know that we've got to isolate this motor. Neither one of these power sources can touch that motor until it goes through the decoder. Okay? So we've got our black coming from our ground, which is going to be our tender. It comes into the decoder, comes out gray, and goes to one side of our motor. Then we have a red wire, which is going to come from our chassis into the decoder, back out as orange to the motor. To isolate the motor from the chassis is really not as hard as it sounds. I watched a video done by Larry Puckett, the DCC guy. He did a similar DCC install on an old roundhouse Shay. And he just simply used electrical tape. It doesn't have to be complicated. And it worked fairly well. So that's going to be the process that I'm going to try to get this thing going. I'm hoping to see a performance increase with this locomotive. It may not, but we shall see. What I'm not going to do with this engine is I am not going to install a headlight. This does not have a working headlight. It has a painted headlight. This is a cast boiler, and it seems pretty thick. I cannot imagine trying to drill this. Some of you may have. It may not be as complicated as I think it is, but that's just not the direction I'm going to go right now. I'm really interested in just seeing if this works, how well it works, because I've also got some other DCC conversion projects that I want to do. And we're going to see that in this series, I hope. So as we move forward with this engine, it's going to be reinstalling the motor and insulating it, installing the decoder either into the tender or possibly into the back of the cab. I'm not sure if there will be enough room. We're going to go through that. It might be, some of it might be step by step, some of it might be off camera. As the series moves on, I want to install DCC on this Bachmann F7 in the Western Maryland paint scheme. I'm very fond of this engine. It was my first Western Maryland locomotive, and I put a lot of miles on this thing, and I want it to be more versatile on my layout and run it simultaneously with other engines. I also have a locomotive here. It's a Bachmann 260 that I bought right as I got back into the hobby. I'm very fond of this engine because of that. It kind of got me going, and I just would like to be able to do the same thing with the F7, be able to run it more versatile on the layout. This is not a DCC sales pitch. Most of my locomotives are DC. Nothing wrong with that at all, and my layout operates well. But it would be nice to be able to run some of my engines simultaneously, be running one in a switching operation on the passing track while the other one's running the loop. Currently, wired up DC alone, it's not going to be able to do that. So I've tested this with the DCC locomotives that I have, and it works well. So I'm just hoping to be able to change these things over, see some performance differences in my older locomotives, and be able to see more versatile operations going on in the layout. So that's the process, and that's the hope. I hope it's worth a subscribe and maybe even a like on your way out of the channel today. And I hope you've enjoyed watching this little preview of what's on the workbench. Until next time, I'm Chris with the Mill Run in Western Maryland. Thank you for watching.